Kidevolve kids. Get your brains warmed up, your minds moving, and ready yourself for a Kidevolve journey. It's going to be amazing.
Hello. Welcome to this creative mind journey. My name's Jeff. Today we're going to do a journey that's all about worrying and how to work with our worries. Have you ever been worried about stuff? It can be about anything. Sometimes we get worried about how other people might see us. Or we get worried about what's going to happen. We want to know what's going to happen tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. Or maybe we worry about how we're dressed, or how we're doing. I mean, there's just so many endless things to worry about, and lots of people worry, because worrying is totally normal. Actually, worrying is part of the brain that is trying to, in a way, make things right, to protect us, to take care of things. So it comes from a really nice place. It comes from a place of caring. But the problem with worries is sometimes they can get stuck, and it's like we're worrying all the time now. And sometimes we can be worrying even after the thing that we're worried about is no longer even a worry. But we don't know that because we're in the habit, in the pattern of worrying and worrying and worrying. Does that sound familiar to you? I know it's familiar to me. So what happens when we get in these places where we're just worrying all the time is we can get kind of tired out because we're just using up all that energy. Or we just get so keyed up. It's like we're vibrating with worry freak-out energy. Like a freakazoid worry all the time. Freakazoid.
Freak out.
Have you ever been a freakout?
Freakazoid.
That's the super warrior. Is we're going to do a little exercise. And in this exercise, we're going to just actually give ourselves time to do a little tiny bit of worrying, because a little bit of worrying can be useful. But then we're going to say, okay, the time to do that worrying is over. And then we're going to put our worries somewhere. And I'll walk you through it, okay? So let's start out, sit down on the floor, or maybe on your bed or in a chair, wherever you like. But it really works well on a floor. And so just sit there and take a couple of deep breaths to start. Breathing in and then breathing out. And as you breathe out, really feel that floor underneath your legs and underneath your seat, because that's the floor you're sitting on. Now, I want you to think about one thing that you're worried about. So bring it to mind. Maybe it's worried about a costume you gotta wear. Maybe you're worried about how you're gonna do tomorrow because there's gonna be a test or something. Or maybe you're worried about getting up in front of the class, or going to see somebody, or something happening at home. So just think about it for a moment. Oh yeah, that's that worry. Okay. Now I want you to take your finger and pretend your finger is a pencil. And on the floor, I want you to draw a 1. Just a straight line, 1. That's worry number 1. And as you're drawing that worry, all the worry is pouring down your finger, and it's going into the rug or floor, and it's making this little imaginary 1. 1. Now we're going to leave that worry there. So that's your worry. That's worry number 1. So just put that aside for a second. Take another couple of deep breaths. Let yourself feel the ground underneath you. You might notice that over there is worry number 1, and that's okay, but you're right here. Now I want you to think about if there's another worry that you have, a different worry. Maybe this worry is about something that happened at school, or maybe about a teacher. Or maybe this worry is about something in your neighborhood, or something you do. Who knows? There's so many things to worry about, and that's normal. So think about that worry, and then I want you to take your magic finger and hold it up. And I want you to draw next to the 1, I want you to draw an imaginary 2 on the floor. 2. And as you're drawing that 2, you can imagine that worry is going right down your finger into the floor, and it's making that 2. Now stop and take a couple of deep breaths. And just know that that worry there is now nice and safe on the floor. It's in the 2. So there's a 1, there's a 2. Now maybe that was all the worries that you have. But just for fun, let's imagine if there's one more worry. Let's just think, is there something else you're a little bit worried about? Could be something totally different. Could be something about a friend, or it could be something about your room. Who knows what? Maybe somebody you know. And just think, oh yeah, that's that worry. I have that worry sometimes, or maybe you have it now. Now I want you to imagine putting that worry right into your finger, your magic finger, and hold up your finger like a pen. And now put your finger to the floor, and I want you to draw a 3. And as you're drawing it, all that worry energy is going out through your finger into the floor, making the number 3. Okay, are you done? If you are, then take a couple of deep breaths. Nice long exhale, and as you're breathing out, really feeling the ground underneath your feet and underneath your legs and your butt and your whole body that's there. And now you can imagine in your imagination, look down at those 3 numbers. You can even see them with your eyes open. 1, 2, 3. You kind of know where they are. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take those numbers, and this is our imagination, don't forget. So you're going to take number 1, and look, you can kind of just peel it up, your fingers. You peel up the 1, and there it is, worry number 1. It's sort of dangling in your hands. Looks like a little bit like a dangling sock. And over on the right side next to you, you see a little box. And this is called the worry box. Can you picture it in your mind's eye? Can you picture it in your imagination? So that worry box is open, and maybe it's a wooden box or maybe it's a metal box. You can use your imagination to decide what it looks like. The box is open, and you're going to very carefully and gently place that worry number 1 inside that box. Just like a sock, it just flopped inside that box, and it's safe there. Now you look back at worry number 2. And let's do the same thing. In your imagination, peel up number 2 so it comes up off the floor. And now hang it over the box, the worry box, and just very gently let go. And there, worry number 2 falls gently into the box, and it's safe there. Take a deep breath when you do that, because when you do that, you can really actually feel the worries moving away a little bit. They're not so much there now. They're kind of over in the box. And finally, there's worry number 3, which you peel up as well. Now you've got this dangling worry number 3 in your hand. And I want you to reach over to the box and drop it in. And there goes worry number 3. And it's safe in there. They're all in there. Now you can close the top of that box. And then take another deep breath. Wow, it feels good to have those worries off your chest, off your floor, and now they're in the box. So what are you going to do with your box? So in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine that you're going to take the box and you're going to take it all the way to the edge of some water. And there's a river maybe, or maybe it's the ocean, but there's a lot, or maybe it's a lake. There's a lot of water. And there's a little boat right there. And you go on a little pier or a little wooden walkway with your box, and you put it in the boat. And there's a really nice man at the boat. He's got a big smile, and there's lots of other boxes on the boat, because this is where people put their worries sometimes. And he's the worry master. He says, "Don't worry about me. I'm going to take care of these worries. I'm going to safe keep them." He safe keeps worries. He's the worry safe keeper. So he smiles and nods, and you say, "Take care of my worries." And he says, "Sure thing, I will." And then the boat pushes off. He starts rowing. And he's rowing out into the water, and he's happy because he's got all of these worry boxes that he's going to take care of for now. And he goes off, and as he goes off, you feel the worries getting further and further away. That's okay. Those worries will be safe. They can come back another day, but for now, we're going to let the worry man take them. He's the keeper of the worries. And just notice what it feels like to not have to have that worry with you right now. That it's on a boat, in a box, far away, way over there on the other side of the water. Okay, so now it's time to come home. I want you to imagine coming back into your room. As you do, you can take a few deep breaths. So you breathe in, and then you breathe out. And as you breathe out, you really relax. Seeing if you can feel the floor underneath you too as you breathe out. Feeling the ground under your butt and your legs. Feeling where you're sitting. Back in the room where you started. And things are just like before. Except one big thing has changed. You now have this trick you can do. Anytime you have a worry. You know what to do, right? You just hold up your magic finger and imagine the worry going into the finger. And then you put your finger on the ground and the worry drains out onto the floor. And maybe it looks like a number, or maybe it looks like a sock, or maybe it looks like a brown blob. But you drain that worry out, and then in your imagination you peel it up and you put it in a little worry box, and then you take it to the worry master, who's going to take care of it. So what does your worry master look like? We can use our imaginations here. Everyone's is going to be a bit different. Maybe yours is a lady, or a giant goat, or maybe a friendly ostrich with a little cap on his head. It can be anything. And maybe they drive a plane, the worry master, or maybe the worry master lives in a tree, or maybe they drive a boat, just like the one we explored together. Let your imagination decide. Imagination is the best. So remember this. It's completely normal to have worries. And it's important to share any serious worries you might have with your parents. But if your worries get stuck, then it might be time to give them to the worry master for safekeeping. This can be pretty fun. You can sit on the floor even with your parents and show them what you're doing, where each of the worries is going. They can help you. Once we give our worries to the worry master, we can get on with the business of being a kid. Okay, this is Freak Out Freakazoid Jeff signing off. I'll see you later. And make sure to clean up your worries on the floor so no one steps on them.
So, what did you think? Did it make your toes tingle, your eyes dance, your mind relax? Take a minute to stop, breathe, and check in with how you feel after listening to the story.